zoax.net. JavaScript, Lesson 4, Arrays. For this lesson, you will need to create an HTML file and a JavaScript file like the ones we created in Lesson 1. An array is a collection of objects that are stored in sequential order inside of a container object. Each object inside the container is accessible via an index and the bracket operator. Notice that the indices start at 0, so this array of 5 entries is indexed by the values 0 through 4. The purpose of an array is to serve as a place to conveniently hold and access objects that are closely associated. Unlike some other languages, arrays in JavaScript can hold objects of various types. That means that we could have an array that holds both a collection of images of paintings and the titles of those paintings in separate entries, for example. For this lesson, I will give a simple example of a program that declares an array and fills it with some images that get displayed. The 3 images that I will use are Michelangelo's creation of the sun and moon from the Sistine Chapel, The Descent of the Holy Spirit by Titian, and Michelangelo's The Last Judgment, also from the Sistine Chapel. As before, I am using a single JavaScript file which I have named lesson4.js and an HTML file which I have named lesson4.html. The HTML file is the same as the one I have used before, except that the JavaScript source file is named lesson4.js, so I will only explain the new code in the JavaScript file. Like other variables, arrays should always be given meaningful names. Since the pictures in this array are of the 3 persons of the Trinity, I begin by declaring a variable called Trinity. Then I set the variable equal to a set of empty brackets to designate the variable as an empty array. After this, I expand the array by setting an entry equal to the new image object. Then I assign the source to an image file and append the image object to the document using the array operator. This last line calls the appendChild function to add the image to the document. These 3 lines are similar to what we have seen before. The main difference is that in the new program we create an image object instead of an image element. Practically speaking though, the effect is the same. We write these 3 lines for each of the 3 array entries and the 3 images that we have. The only change is that we use a different index for each one and set a different image file as the source. Note that each time we assign a new array entry to a new image object, the array grows to hold it. This is different than some other languages, and it makes JavaScript arrays easier to work with. With the HTML file and the JavaScript file in the same folder, along with the image files, I can double-click the HTML file to run the program. This opens the browser and displays the 3 images like this. The code and image files for this lesson are available for download from our lesson page via a link next to the video player. Left-click the link to download the zip file.